Welcome back, folks, to Two Brits, One Puck. I'm your host, Mr. Intangibles, and a Call of Duty Warzone solo expert, Dan Masters, with my good friend, the president and founder of the Leon Draisaitl fan club, and a man who loves being a big body up front. Will Everett Human. Will, how you doing?
Very well, thank you, Dan. Very well. On the subject of Call of Duty Warzone, I heard that there's a 100 gigabyte patch for it. Is that true?
Yes and no. It's very strange because when you download the game, it's like 101, 102 gig. But then,
fucking outrageous.
When you go to do an update, I don't know if this is the same for everyone else, but my PS4 seems to think the update is also 100 gig. It isn't. The updates are like 10 or 5 or, nothing. But for some reason, my PS4 thinks it is. So I every time there's an update, I have to delete the whole file and then re-download it again. And then it works. Otherwise, it thinks there's not enough space on my machine, which there is. There's loads, but yeah, it's a glitch, I think.
What, so you have to re-download the entire game every time it needs to update?
I do, personally. That's the only way I found to work around it. I've only got 300 gig on my hard drive, and I've got obviously a 500 gig machine. Yet, yesterday when it was due to do the update, it said there wasn't enough space. And the update file was only 17 gig or something like that, but it said there wasn't enough space, and clearly there is, so that's just the workaround I found. Which doesn't bother me. You can do it overnight, can't you? It's not an issue. Of all the Battle Royale games I've played, it's easily the best. And I'm not a Call of Duty fan at all, but Warzone is a fantastic game.
What makes it different to just, like, if you had a Battle Royale mode in COD? Is that all it is, basically?
It's exactly what you think a Battle Royale mode is. It's one map, huge map, loads of different areas in the map. You go around picking up guns and ammo and all that kind of thing. It's very similar in that way, but if you're in a team, if you get shot and killed, you get taken to this prison, and then you have to one-on-one somebody in the gulag. And if you win the gulag, you get back into the game with your friends. Mate. Or, on top of that as well, if you get shot and killed, you can go to buy stations where you can purchase things like kill streaks and stuff like that. If you find money on the map, your friends can also buy you back into the game. So it's not a case of if you die, you're done. There's ways back into the game, which makes it last longer.
That's quite interesting.
There's buy stations, so you can buy upgrades. It becomes a bit more tactical then. So, like, do I save up my money and buy a couple of kill streaks? Do I buy a gas mask? Because then you can run around in the gas for a bit before it, takes hold. Do I purchase my friend back? And you have to think a bit, instead of just running around trying to build fucking forts like in Fortnite.
That sounds perfectly fine if that's your cup of tea sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Consider it, for free, it's ridiculously good for free.
That's the thing. So does it have like a not a pay-to-win aspect, but there is an incentive for you to spend your hard-earned buckaroos on it?
No, not 1 penny. The only reason you would buy things is to get extra skins on guns or vehicles and things like that, or tags that you can spray on walls and things. There's literally no reason to pay to win. I've not paid a single penny for it because I've won, I think, 9 or 10 solo games. No, something else quickly. Have you finished Tiger King yet?
Yes, I was trying to think earlier this week. Had we talked about it? But yeah, I finished it, and then you know what we did after we finished it? We went back and watched. Did you ever see the Louis Theroux thing with him?
Oh yeah.
We re-watched it because Grace has never seen like half the Louis Theroux stuff.
No way.
So we watched it after watching Tiger King. Really interesting. For anyone out there who has access to it, it's on Netflix in the UK. I'd imagine it probably is in the US too. Louis Theroux did a Big Cats thing, and there are quite a few of the Tiger King characters in it. He spends a few days with Joe Exotic. That Tim, what's his name? Tim something.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his second name.
This old podgy guy's wearing a cowboy hat for a lot of the kids who has a monkey in his t-shirt. He's in it. There's a lot of Joe Exotic, and it happens before all the Carol Baskin stuff happens. So it's really interesting going back and seeing like he was a much more reserved kind of character around Louis, and how much of that is how they framed it and how they shot it, which scenes they chose, and how much of it is just how he changed over the years. But yeah, really, really interesting. But what were you going to say about Tiger King?
Right, this is one of the main things I wanted to say. Episodes 1 and 2 of Tiger King are kind of, all right, here's the big setup. And to be fair, there probably didn't need to be 2 episodes to set up. There could have been 1. And I think episodes 6 and 7 were more, okay, well, it's winding down. Here's what happened at the end. It's 3, 4, and 5. You find out that obviously Carol allegedly, killed her husband or he disappeared after she put it in the will. But the South American drug baron who admits to chopping off a guy's head who admits to doing all these things to the FBI, becomes an informant, is basically the guy that Scarface is based around, was just a side character. And I was watching it thinking, I need a show of this guy. Fuck Joe Exotic. What's this guy been doing? this drug baron. What's his story?
What was the point of him being in there?
I don't know. He's just another guy who had loads of animals, wasn't he? He's basically Escobar with this private sanctuary for all these fucking big animals and shit. I want to see this guy's story. It's way more exciting.
They interviewed him, they showed a bunch of his animals, he was like, yeah, Carol Baskin's a piece of shit, and Joe's a bit of a piece of shit too, and then that was it. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
He admits to didn't he have some FBI agent killed, and they cut him to pieces and stuff? What? This is just a side character?
It's like, oh, we better shoehorn this guy in because he's very interesting. Which is fair enough. I can't. Yeah, it was crazy, as everybody says. But
yeah, it is. And like we said, I didn't want to say at the time, but one of his husbands. It's just incredibly, incredibly sad as well. At the bottom of it, it's all just very sad and very depressing.
Oh my god!
Isn't that mad?
Oh my god! Yeah. It's one of those things where you're watching it, sort of without even thinking about it. Okay, this is going to happen.
Yes.
And it's still...
The way it gets to episode 3 or 4 and they start talking about him in a certain way and you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, something bad's happened here.
Yeah, we haven't seen this geezer.
Yeah, why has he not been... And then you realise, why has he not been interviewed? Why has he not been talking? And then, okay, that's why. Fucking hell.
That's horrendous. And how, it turns out that he was basically just addicted to meth and that's how Joe, mate, all the interviews
kind
with
of
him...
kept him around.
Yeah. I don't know, all throughout it was quite clear that he wasn't strictly comfortable being Joe's husband.
No, not at all. And why would you be?
But then part of me thinks, why would you, be in my privilege of not having been in such a dire situation, but thinking,
Here comes the white male middle class view from Williford.
Yeah, absolutely, but just an element of, I can't understand why you'd stick around in that situation. How... Obviously, it's an abusive situation. That's just how it is. Plenty of people have fallen victim to that sort of lifestyle, but it's...
Yeah. I mean, maybe think that you had anywhere else to go or something.
No,
I don't know.
No. It's awful. The guy I liked was his campaign manager.
Oh, God.
In the first bit of interview we see with him, it's oh yeah, that was the worst time of my life. And then the campaign finishes, and for some reason he's still working at the park. It's like... It's 6 months later and he's in the team meetings. It's what the fuck are you doing?
Hasn't the campaign finished? Just been kept around.
Long ago.
I will recommend one more thing which I've been watching because I'm sure you people need something to watch. Everybody needs to watch Money Heist on Netflix. It's excellent. Absolutely excellent. It's a crime drama from Spain about a gang who rob the National Mint in Spain where they obviously print money. That's all I'll say. No spoilers. But I've just finished season 2 and it's amazing. Everyone should check it out.
That does sound good. We've been we just ran through all the Jackass films.
No way.
Yeah. And because they do the sort of behind the scenes ones as well. We just finished the last behind the scenes thing before we started recording. They haven't aged a bit. It's beautiful. There are some sketches that aren't quite as enjoyable now that I'm a bit older. Just with a lot of the animal stuff, and by and large, it's still absolutely hilarious.
Boys will be boys.
That they will, Dan.
All right, let's go with the show then. Okay, a couple of little bits to start this week. A couple of little things I saw that made me chuckle. Or it's an old joke, but it always makes me laugh. Paul Coffey was being interviewed on Sportsnet, I think. An interviewer said to him, how many goals do you think you'd score if you played in today's NHL? And Coffey said, I don't know, probably 15 or 20. And the interviewer was dead surprised and said, oh, why are you putting that figure so low? And Coffey said, well, I'm 58. Which always makes... That's an old joke, but it always makes me laugh. That's very clever.
What was the old Pele one? I forget what year it was. It was maybe in the 90s or something, and Pele was asked, how do you think your 1950s Brazil team would line up against Real Madrid at the moment. It's like, well, it'd probably be quite a close game, maybe 1-1 or something. And yeah, the same answer of like, well, we are all like 70 years old now. Very, very, very good. But no, Paul Coffey doesn't get any sort of recognition this week, Dan, because did you hear the other quote that you came out with?
Oh, clearly I haven't, and he said something terrible. Go on.
Not that, it wasn't like, you know who was misunderstood? A young man from Austria. No, it wasn't that bad. It was just he said the NHL isn't violent enough anymore. It's like, okay. Oh, okay, Paul Coffey of all the fucking players.
I was going to say, noted ice guardian Paul Coffey.
Fucking ice guardian. Fucking Bob Roberts' fucking long lost twin brother, Paul Coffey.
Shout out to Nico Hischier, finally doing a push-up challenge worth watching. 5 press-ups and then a goddamn backflip.
Fair play. I was disappointed though because it wasn't like a press-up into a backflip.
Like an ultimate burpee.
Yeah, exactly. Like just forces himself up and somehow does a somersault back into a press-up.
If you'd have said to me, a hockey player is going to do a press-up and then transition into a standing backflip, I would have just thought, well, something terrible is going to happen, like he's going to snap his fibula in half, but no, just picture perfect, sticks landing it. Who would have thought a hockey player would be that athletic? That's ridiculous.
I don't know, you've got to be pretty athletic, haven't you, to be any sort of sports person.
Yeah, but have you ever had that? Have you ever thought I could do a backflip?
Probably not.
But if you just stand up and then imagine jumping as hard as you can and going backwards over yourself, that terrifies me. There's no way. And he just he does it on concrete as well. I was thinking, Christ, Nico, you're one wrong move, you've got a blown ACL and that's it. Your career's over, kind of thing.
That's if he's fucking lucky as well.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what as well? I did do my own challenge this week because I don't know if you saw this, but Tom Holland did a t-shirt handstand challenge. Did you see that?
Oh, is that where you put your feet up on the wall behind you and you put your t-shirt on and then do some...
Yeah, you got to do a handstand against the wall and then put your t-shirt on. So Sarah said to me, do you think you could do that? And I, of course, me being me, went, yeah, of course I could.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, of course, then she said, well, go on then. So, but then I did, and I surprised myself.
I feel it's one of those things that doesn't look too hard, but I reckon, yeah, it's definitely a lot harder than you think it is.
It's hard, yeah, it's a lot harder than you think it is. It's getting the t-shirt up to your shoulders to then get it over your head. Getting it into your hands is easy. It's then getting it up to your shoulders because then you can get it. Then you can flip it over.
Yeah, because you can't even stretch forward to bring it up and then bring it back with your elbow, really, can you?
No, exactly. Oh. But there you go. I'm as exciting and as powerful as Spider-Man, so I'll take that.
You're basically Cheshire's answer to Nico Hischier right now.
I'm part of the new Avengers. Me and Hischier have already started it. Me and Hischier are the new Avengers. There are a couple of news bits as well. I wanted to mention this first. Not great news, obviously, but in a subject that hits very close to home to me, Colby Cave is in a really bad way, and obviously just hoping he makes a speedy recovery. He suffered a brain bleed on Monday night, was taken to hospital, and they had to remove a cyst from his brain. We're just hoping he makes a speedy recovery, because this is some really, really serious shit. And he's currently in a medically induced coma. Even if he makes it out of this alive, he has got a long road ahead of him, and I just hope it goes as smoothly as possible for the young man.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the sort of player that, he's further down the lineup, so he's not necessarily going to get the exposure or the respect that he should do as a human being or a hockey player. But yeah, absolutely. Thoughts going out to Colby and his partner Emily. It's especially at this trying time as it is. His wife's not going to be able to be with him in the hospital because of COVID-19. It's going to be obviously a horrendous thing at any stage of the game, but right now specifically it's going to be even harder than it could have been.
Do you know what's crazy? It's worse. It's worse when this sounds terrible, but it is worse when it's somebody young that something like this happens to. I remember when my mum was in intensive care, and there was a guy in the bed next to my mum he was a pilot, and he obviously he was a light aircraft pilot, and we just kind of got talking to his family, and he was only about 28, 29, and he'd had a crash in his plane. And, obviously he was he's had the same operation that my mum had this massive brain bleed and had to have an operation and all this kind of thing. And I just felt, as crazy as it sounds, my mum at that time was in her 50s. And I was thinking, Christ, if she was 28, 29 when this happened. And that sounds like a mental thing to say. But for somebody so young as well, oh man, it's just terrible. Terrible.
Really is. It's that natural thing of you thinking you've got more time ahead or whatever it might be, or young people aren't meant to get sick, are they?
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, bad things aren't meant to happen to young people. That's kind of what we just kind of conditioned ourselves to do, to kind of think like that, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And just can happen to anyone, whether you're fit or not fit, young or old, whatever it might be. Just tell people you love them. People, don't waste a moment. Be good to the people in your life, and because you never know what's going to bloody happen.
All right, let's move on. Some good news. Florence Schelling becomes the first female GM of a pro hockey club as she takes the reins at Bern in Switzerland. Dude, I'm sure she's aware of this, but oh my God, the pressure that is going to be on her now is going to be immense, because you just know there are people everywhere just waiting for her to fail.
She better get on the phone with Peachy already soon so she can swing a legendary deal.
Connor McDavid is moving to Switzerland in an unprecedented trade.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. And it's not even like she's an assistant coach or an assistant GM or something, like fully fledged GM of a professional team in a fairly, like, the Swiss League's not exactly, yeah, it's not like she's fucking coaching in the NHL or anything like that. That's really cool. She I think she played at Northeastern. She played college. Yeah, so fortunately she has played the game, so she's not just, she does know what she's talking about. God, they've got Mark Arcobello on the roster. Who else have they got? Who else have you got for me? Nah, that's it.
That's it.
Andrew Ebbett. I think he played in the AHL for a bit. Genuine real ice hockey team right there. And it's good. The thing that doesn't get me too excited for it, like, it's good for European hockey and stuff, and Swiss hockey specifically. I'm glad somebody's taken the leap. But the NHL is a law unto itself. Like, nobody in the NHL gives a fuck that she's been hired. Like, that's not going to influence. We don't even get European coaches over here, let alone a female GM. Do you know what I mean, though? It's not. It's really...
Well, it's going to be even longer now for any more European coaches after the way the Sabres season's gone.
And that is all Ralph Kruger's fault, as we know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mate, we're lucky that we've got bloody Jarmo Kekalainen over there, rather. Yeah, it's true. It's really good. It's really good, but nobody should be holding out any hope that we're suddenly going to see Carrie Granato suiting up behind the anywhere close to an AHL team.
I can't decide which bit's going to be worse. Is that if she fails, it's going to be "ha ha, we told you so." Obviously not out loud, but under muttered breaths in the corridors, you know that's what it'll be. Or if she succeeds, the patronising, God, I mean, hasn't she done so well? Hasn't she done well? Which is what it's going to be. Not just, yeah, they were good this year, which is what would happen if it was a guy in charge. It'd just be, wow, hasn't she done really well? Kind of and it's just, oh God, it's going to be awful.
Well, of course, Byrne got all those wins when she wears such a low-cut top.
Oh, you know it. You just know it.
She's sleeping with the referees.
Yeah, I was going to say, was she influencing the referees with her clothing? Let's find out. The Athletic Switzerland takes a look. Oh God, it's just terrible. It's such a shit sport.
You catch referees on TV like glancing up to the director's box before every face up. And it turns out to be a massive match fixing, genuine scandal.
It's terrible. It's terrible. She can't, and maybe that should have been what I said originally. She can't win, can she?
I mean,
anyway. Well, no, you know what I'm saying though. If she does well, it's just going to be patronising. If she fails, everyone's going to just say, "Well, I told you so." Like that's why women don't belong in the GM position.
It's why great. It's why one's never enough of like any sort of. If you're looking to actually make change in any sort of field or any sport or whatever it might be, any situation, one is never going to be enough. You've got to have a series of changes of that ilk to be made to. Because at the moment she's going to be the exception that proves the rule. What I want to see next is a female GM or coach who hasn't played the game to then get
Jesus Christ.
That'd be incredible.
Can you imagine? Fucking hell.
I'm getting excited just
and young as well. Young. Like a female John Shaker.
19. Behind the bench.
Straight out of uni.
Never even heard of hockey. And she's been made the GM.
That'd be amazing. Oh, that'd be amazing.
She'd probably be good. Just get some.
I don't know. Do you know what? I'm gonna mention this later when we do the draft bit. But no one knows a fucking thing about hockey. You could put my fucking daughter in charge of a team. Their results would just not matter. They're all the same. No one knows anything about hockey, and you can't tell me any different. Nobody. No one knows anything.
Are you trying to forecast that your first pick in the draft is going to be Lee Stempniak? What does it matter? No one knows fucking anything.
It's true. Hopefully she's a trailblazer, because we need more of them.
We could do with a few more birds around, couldn't we?
Yeah, but yeah, we could do with a few more, couldn't we? Did you watch the Bobby Ryan documentary on Sportsnet by any chance?
I did not watch. I intended to, but then I wasn't. His face was just there, and I was like, oh, I can't be fucking bothered with this. I don't want to watch.
Fucking poor dude. Jesus.
No offense to Bobby
Did you watch
Ryan.
it? No, I don't like his face.
I was going to, but then I saw his face. No, it was. I was. I'm really bad at watching things anyway on my own. I'd rather be doing something than sitting back and watching something. So I was a bit like, oh, I can't.
What are you, 5?
No,
I can't sit and watch something.
No, I'm not saying I can't sit down. Like I'd rather be playing some PlayStation or something than just watching. What?
So stupid. It's so stupid. All right,
It's not like,
whatever. Oh dear.
Fine. What fucking happened in this magic fucking Bobby Ryan documentary that I missed?
Hey, it was really good. It was really, really interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I'll obviously explain to you who didn't do your homework and the listeners out there who may have not seen it, but whatever.
Well, what's
I'm not sure if everyone
their
knows.
Excuse then?
Well, they don't have to watch it. We're reporting on it.
Reporting on it.
Yeah, we're reporters now. Well, did you not know? Anyway,
fucking inside scoop.
Yeah, I'm an insider. God, I hate that term so much. All right. Okay, so I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but Bobby Ryan's dad beat up his mum really badly. He came home one night. There was an answer phone message on Bobby's mum's phone, and the dad listened to it, and he was in a drunken state. Didn't like what he heard on the other end. They didn't say this explicitly, but it sounded like it was a guy trying to be with Bobby's mum or something. I don't know if there was anything to that or not, but they never said that explicitly. Bobby's dad goes fucking nuts, like beats up his mum really badly. He gets arrested, obviously, but then jumps bail and flees to California. Bobby and his mum then meet up with the dad about 7-8 months later, and Bobby starts playing hockey in California instead. Changes his name from Robert Stevenson to Bobby Ryan, because the dad had obviously changed his name to avoid suspicion.
So it's with the same dad who had committed domestic assault on the mum.
Yes, which is why it was fascinating.
I had a rough... I'd read this story about Bobby Ryan before, but I'd forgotten the sort of reason for them jumping state and changing their names to evade the law. But yeah, it was to protect the dad. That's
pretty much
horrendous.
Yes, but they wanted to stay together. That was the thing. The mum and dad wanted to be together, even after what he'd done, which I'll get onto in a minute. So they go out to California, and Bobby said that he was playing in tournaments out there, and at that point he's playing in tournaments where sort of kids from all over the country are playing. He's playing in these tournaments with these kids, and they're saying, "Oh, hey, Robert," and he's got to say, "No, my name's Bobby," and they'd say, "No, you're Robert Stevenson," and he'd say, "No, I'm not. I'm Bobby Ryan," and he'd have to just lie to their face and pretend he was someone else, which is insane. That this kid, Bobby at this time's like 10 or 11, and he's been told like you are no longer Robert Stevenson. You are now, your name is now Bobby Ryan.
And that's the thing that's always weirded me out. Like, why, as an adult, obviously I can't ever understand that position or how that would affect how you view your own sort of personality. But like, as an adult, he's kept on this lie of a name to protect his abusive father.
I don't know if it's that. I'm wondering if it's... Here we go, fucking...
Here we go.
2 Brits, 1 Puck, reporters / psychologists.
I'm an insider. I'm inside your brain, bruv.
I'm a brain insider, that's what I am. I'm wondering if it was because the life he had as Robert Stevenson had this terrible ordeal in it.
Yeah.
And it's his way of compartmentalising that terrible ordeal. That happened to Robert Stevenson. That didn't happen to Bobby Ryan. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. But anyway,
fucking hell,
the dad and the mum stay together. He then gets caught. The dad got caught because he tried to rent out a video with a Blockbuster card, and it pinged up, and the FBI found him because of a Blockbuster card.
Wait, can you imagine? He had a Stevenson Blockbuster card.
Yeah, and it pinged up.
Idiot. Why wouldn't you just take out a new one? I bet. Surely it's got to be fucking... Especially back then in like the early 2000s or whatever, it's got to be piss easy to get a Blockbuster card.
Dude, it wasn't though, was it? It was mad. I went in to get one once. I took my driving license and my passport, and the guy said, "Yeah, that's no good." I said, "What do you mean it's no good?" He said, "You need something like a letter with your address in it, like your gas bill." I said, "Mate," I said, "this fucking thing gets me into other countries, but I can't rent out fucking Under Siege with it." What are you talking about? And he said, "No, you need something you need a letter." I was like, "Oh, right, whatever. This is ridiculous." I had to go back and get a letter with my name and address on it, not my passport.
You need a fucking signed reference from 2 previous employers to rent out a video.
You need a note from your mum to get a Blockbuster card. So anyway, so Bobby's dad goes to prison. He then gets released, but the state. Did you laugh? Go on, sorry, what?
It's just thinking of him going to prison for trying to rent a video from Blockbuster.
Also, that's not why he went to prison.
Because he couldn't provide his gas bill. He went to Blockbuster jail.
He couldn't provide a gas bill. Oh, God. Have you got a gas bill, sir? No, I don't. The guy starts pushing the big red button under the desk, like the panic button. Is this a guy here with no gas bill?
Is this about the stuff in New Jersey? The Stevens and stuff? The what? No, this is about the Blockbuster thing. What are you talking about? Oh, God.
Loads of police turn up in like blue and yellow suits. With the Blockbuster police.
Or with bits of fabric missing in the corner.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
So, his dad realises, right, the jig's up, I'm going to prison. He gets out before Bobby's draft, but the state puts a restraining order against him. The mum doesn't want the restraining order. She said that she went to court, I think 6 or 7 times to get the restraining order lifted, but the state said they wouldn't do it because they feared for her safety. They thought she wasn't in like her right mind to get it lifted.
Yeah, like a deprivation of liberty type thing.
So they were not meant to be together at all. But his dad didn't care. His dad went to the draft anyway with the mum, and going to Bobby's draft got his dad under house arrest for 18 months, which is insane. And this was Bobby Ryan's done. Christ, I can't even imagine that life, like, as a kid. I know for a fact that things from your childhood will rear up at some point in your life later on down the line, and it can have an effect. And clearly it has had an effect on Bobby because his struggles have been documented. But we've done this especially. We're the first to jump on here and slate people who've done something wrong or said the wrong thing, and we say, no second chances, the things that are unforgivable and that kind of thing. And to me, obviously what his dad did, in my opinion, is unforgivable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yet this lady, Bobby's mum, has forgiven him and they've moved on. And it's easy to say, I think it's easy to sit back and just say, oh yeah, well, clearly she's not thinking right, or she's this put down woman, or she doesn't know what she's really, or that kind of thing. But I think we're too quick sometimes to jump in on that. And I think sometimes we should just say, you know what, if she's forgiven him, maybe I should just say, okay then, let's just all move on with our lives kind of thing. And clearly Bobby's had to forgive him as well, because they're still together now. And during the whole thing, she was saying, I didn't want anything to happen to him. I didn't want him to stop seeing Bobby. I didn't want to be a restraining order. And it is a massive grey area. But I just found that side of it incredibly fascinating.
Yeah, like it's always an interesting concept, like people who can forgive. For me, especially if you're laying hands on someone you love in such an extreme way that the police have to be involved and you have to fucking jump state to avoid prison time. Like, I can't get how you forgive. Like, it'd take an immensely bigger person than I am to forgive.
Yeah, me too.
Someone for that. But yeah, no idea. That's a crazy story, though, isn't it? And to think that child then grows up to be an arguably internationally renowned sports star.
I know. Kind of laughed and talked about parenting on here before, and what lengths would you go to make sure your child's happy and that kind of thing. And his dad risks going to prison just to see Bobby get drafted. And like what his dad did was terrible. But if I said to you, like, would you risk prison to see your son walk up on stage for 2 minutes? I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, that clearly shows that the love that dad had for Bobby was really pure and true, because he's risking going to prison just for that. And again, it's such a mad thing, and I'm really torn on this kind of, well, the guy's clearly a piece of shit for what he did, but I'm also thinking, well, he obviously loved his son so much that he was like, I don't care. This is like, I have to see, like, Bobby's worked his entire life to do this. I have to be there when he does it.
Yeah, this is a particularly different one where the mum has like forgiven the dad more than the average thing, because there are plenty of other situations like that where very selfish people are ignoring restraining orders or whatever it might be to impose themselves on a child's life, even though that's not good for the child or not good for the other parent involved or whatever it might be. So yeah, crikey, I can't even get my head around it, and it's just an interesting look at how different people view different situations and how varied life can be, you know what I mean?
I've talked about this before, I think. I remember back in the day watching a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary when he was sat with his dad, and the interviewer interviewed Jeffrey and his dad at the same time. For those of you who don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, look him up. He's quite famous for doing something terrible with people. He ate them. I watched this documentary when I was about 19, and at the end, the interviewer says to Dahmer's dad, have you got anything you want to say to Jeffrey? And he just turns to his cannibalistic son and says to him, you know, I'm really sorry that this happened to you, son. You know, I love you. I'll always love you. He's like, I love you too, Dad. I don't know what happened. It all went wrong. I'm so sorry. And they have this massive hug, and I'm 19, screaming at the TV, going, he ate people. Why are you hugging him? You mad bastard. Don't hug him. He ate people. And then I had a kid, and I just thought, if Georgia gets to 22, 23, 24 or something, and she becomes, I don't know, some international crime thief or, I don't know, something.
Fucking Jane the Ripper.
Am I going to say, that's it, I'm disavowing her from my life? And I'm thinking, no, I probably wouldn't. She's still my daughter. What? After all that time you spent with that child, all that love you've given them, all that energy and everything and effort to get them to a point in life, and then they fuck up massively, is it that easy to just then cut them off? And clearly it isn't.
It's that thing of, that classic one of, oh, you'll always be a baby to me. And that is 100% it. Because you look at anyone who's got a child out there, you know, however old they are, when they were a baby, that is the most pure thing that they are. Like, they haven't done anything wrong. I think that natural sort of like child rearing instinct will stay with you forever. You'll always have that memory of your kid being 18 months old and learning to speak or learning to walk or whatever it might be. Like, it will just stick with you forever, and that is the only way you can view your child, sort of thing.
The Bob Ryan documentary, it's really good. Really, really good. I recommend it. It's on YouTube, so anyone can watch it. But yeah, I liked it. It's good. Let's get to the main event. But before we do, we are on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and other places where there are sounds. Please do not forget to be a ruddy good sport and leave a 5-star review as well. And this part of the show is brought to you in conjunction with the good people over at Wave Intel. While all around you are bored, jump onto Wave Intel and enjoy a raft of hockey info, including comparison charts for players and teams, GM draft tracking, and deployment graphs. The best thing about Wave Intel is right now it's social distance friendly. Wave Intel online and on Twitter, being smart so you don't have to. All right, before we got to this draft, I wanted to mention last week's. This was really interesting because I said to you after this show, or maybe I said to you on the show, I thought you'd won it. And it turned out that it was pretty much a draw. And it was wildly different opinions again. I had Team A, you had Team B, and comments ranged from, it's clearly Team A, the only part of Team B that's any good is left D, to, why on earth would anyone pick Team A? What I got from this was, it seems that people just hone in on one or two players and judge the whole team based off them, and that's it.
I think it's again down to what individuals value. Especially where we're talking about teams on paper and they're fantasy teams, there's no evidence of how these players would play together, any sort of results they'd actually produce. So it's not like judging your average NHL team where you look at the Predators and be like, I'd rather have Brent Burns as my top pairing defenseman, but Ryan Ellis and Roman Josi work really well together, or whatever it might be. I think you're right, there is that element of, well, I really like player X, so if you've picked any other players, like it's a no-brainer for me. The interesting things that I saw were, looking at our teams in the cold light of day, your forward depth is much better than mine is. Mine was, I think, it's better at the wings specifically. I think I still believe I've got much better centres than you do. Even with
I agree 100%.
David.
Your centres are terrifying.
Oh, dangerous. What can I say? But then on the wing, you're insanely your team was much better than mine was. So it's just...
My right wing should be illegal. That's how good that right wing was. That was
and yet
insane.
there were people
Marner,
out there-
Pasternak, Mark Stone, and Tarasenko.
And there were people saying that I had a much better right wing than you did, which is
Mad.
just so curious. So yeah, I think it's a good exercise because it gets people talking.
I think, as well, and it showed something we should have known from the start, even doing this. After 3 drafts, we're 1-1-1. Because in hockey, no one knows or can prove anything, and it's all just wild speculation. We could do 99 drafts, and we'll be 33, 33, and 33 because it's hockey.
It's beautiful. I don't know how we're going to do a shootout in the draft term, but
I don't know how you do a shootout in a drafting. I'm sure we could work something out, but it'd be incredibly dull, like all shootouts.
you just have to keep drafting players until someone can't think of a player.
Just name players.
Just name players. Yeah.
You've got 10 seconds to name a player.
It's like that. What's that Radio 4 panel show game?
Oh yeah,
No,
like no repeating,
hesitation, repetition.
Something.
Yeah. It's like
That's it. Yeah.
We'll do that, but with hockey players.
All right, this week's draft then. We went back to the heady year of 2003. I was a fresh-faced 22-year-old living in Manchester, working in finance, and hating every second of my life. Crazy in Love by Beyoncé, Bring Me to Life by Evanescence, and In the Club by 50 Cent were smash hits.
No way.
And velvet tracksuits a la George Costanza was the big fashion item. Will, how old were you in 2003?
Depending on what month of 2003, but I turned 11 in 2003, and I started secondary school in 2003.
Fuck off. I was 22.
That's fucking mental. That's mental.
You were 11 in 2003. No, you weren't, you pup.
But that's such a weird thing about age and our views on age, isn't it? I'd say, we can speak as peers now, and obviously we're mates and that. But you think about a 22-year-old and an 11-year-old, like it's fucking night and day, isn't it?
If we just somehow walked past each other in the street in 2003, and some guy would have tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Oh, that lad over there," in sort of 17 years, you'll be like really good mates with him doing a show. I'd have been like, "What? No, well, that's why. How would I know that guy?"
He's or even earlier when you're 16 and I'm 5 years old.
When I'm 11. All right, some boy hasn't been born yet, right? But when he is, get ready. I know, it's ridiculous.
Get yourself down to Eastbourne, lad.
2003 draft is considered one of the greatest ever. It provided a ton of not just NHLers, but actual NHL legends. So we're deciding, of course, to draft the best team we can from players taken in 2003. This draft is not position locked. We're just drafting forward or defense. Anything you want to mention before we get on with it?
I want to say you're an absolute fucking wuss for not doing position lock on this, because I've set up a position locked draft board and it's fucking easy. You're a big old wuss. You're a big girl's blouse, as they would have said.
I'm trying to keep it a bit different every week if I can, so I didn't want to position lock it every week.
I sincerely disagree. Even if I got my second choice if I picked second on every position or whatever, you'd have a good team.
Okay. Maybe we can look at that at the end then.
This is interesting. Maybe. I'm just going to quickly bring up specifically the centres taken in this draft and make sure that I haven't missed anyone that would be worth taking. Oh no, of course I fucking haven't. Maybe him. Well, no, because I cut it off at because I thought we were doing position locks. So I've only got 8 centres on my list, 8 left wings, 8 right wings. So if
I get it. Okay, now I get it.
The 9th centre was Sidney Crosby. Yeah, I didn't want to miss that. Okay. So first overall, I'm going to take. I think it's fairly obvious. It's going to be Patrice Bergeron. It's got to be done. Sorry, mate.
No.
Sorry.
No.
I don't think it was that much of a question with this. I think he is the best player that's come out of this draft. I think there are some interesting...
Do you think the greatest two-way forward ever? Yeah, maybe.
I think Guy Carbonneau would like a conversation about that.
Here's my conversation with him. Fuck off, Guy. You ain't, mate. Soz. Get over it. I nearly suggested a trade in this draft somehow. I'll trade the first overall pick for picks 2, 3, and 4 and see if I can still win.
Mate, that is...
Here's why I didn't do that. Because I thought that would have actually made it even more kind of intriguing, was can you do it still if you draft away positions 2, 3, and 4? But then I thought, when I upload the teams and tag all the people in on Twitter, is it going to look stupid if I don't take the players taken at 2, 3, and 4? I thought it's just easier for people looking at it cold on a piece of paper that you kind of go, okay, that just went beep, 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 like, me, you, me, you, me, you. So that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, we should probably start uploading the draft order.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Just so it's a bit more... We've already had issues with people not understanding the premise.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that one last week was even better. Why did you take Sebastian Aho over Jack Hughes? Because I couldn't. Do you not see?
What are you fucking talking about, mate?
And the only thing I was going to say was, I knew you were going to take Bergeron, obviously, but I couldn't decide if I was more disappointed that you took him first, or if I'd have then been more angry if you didn't take him first.
just out of spite.
Because if you'd not taken him first, I would have been furious. But I thought, well, I'm going to be sad that he does take him.
Fucking no respect for Patrice.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you going to take? I think I know who, but...
Oh, mate, you're not doing this already, are you? I think I know who you're going to take.
Well, no, it's just about who's the second best player in the draft, isn't it? It's like, say this, whenever it happens for the 2020 draft, the Senators take Lafreniere, and it's like, well, I think they're going to say Byfield next, but who knows? It'll be in like half an hour when I say, well, I think I know who you're going to take next. That's when you can call me a dickhead for it.
Yeah. All right. I am taking Ryan Getzlaf.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good choice.
Was that who you had?
No, it's not who I had, but for me, he is without a doubt the second best centre in this draft.
And as I've explained before, I feel at some point, if you have Bergeron, I take someone else, and then you take Getzlaf, that's just stupid then. Yeah, you've got the first and second best centres. Did a bit of research on this. Ryan Getzlaf, the best points per game producer in the entire draft.
Really? He was really...
Yes.
It's the thing with this draft, like we're far enough out of it that there are a few players on the list that recent history has not been very kind to, but at the peak of
I was going to say that, yes.
Incredible, really good players.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to shake that. It's not like they're 80s and 90s players where you forget their bad years at the end of their careers and only remember the good ones.
Yeah.
This is like some of these players are playing now or have played last season and were shit. And yeah, it's interesting how that you have to kind of shake that thought. And on that subject, with the third overall pick, I'm going to take Shea Weber.
Are you really?
Oh, don't say that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Shea Weber. I'm going to try and not outthink myself too much.
Okay.
I'm concerned now. I'm very concerned. Because he was so good for a very long time.
Well, okay. If you say so.
I don't think the D is that strong. There are some good players.
I will say this, yes, I agree. There is no guy on D who you're like, well, clearly it's that guy. I mean, who else would I take?
Well, for
no,
me,
I agree with that.
It would be Shea Weber. I don't think anyone else is particularly better than Shea Weber.
Well, I'm going to take this guy on D next pick. I'm taking Brent Burns.
Yeah, I thought you would. And I think that's unfair to argue that Brent Burns has had a better career than Shea Weber. It's fair enough. It's who I would have picked. I had him 4 on my board. So I had Bergeron, Weber, Getzlaf, Burns.
Shea Weber's best Corsi season was nowhere near Burns. And over his career, his Corsi is nowhere near Burns. And Burns has produced more points per game than Shea Weber.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I am legitimately... I mean, again, we've done this fucking million times. Not that it means anything. Someone's going to see your team and go, Shea Weber's in it. I'm picking that team. All right, great.
Exactly.
But, yes, quite surprised.
Oh, mate. Right, where to go next? I think there are certain... Yeah, all right. I'm going to take Ryan Suter next. Try and...
Okay. Surprised again.
Pad out the Ds. I just think... Yeah, I think I know... What, are you looking at a forward next?
Do you know what? I was, but now I don't know. This is interesting. There's a player I've got my eye on, okay? And I think I'm going to pick this player, and you're going to fall into that trap of judging them based on recent performance instead of when they were fucking unbelievable, which is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at players here when they were amazing and thinking, shit, that guy was... I mean, holy cow.
You're taking Brent Seabrook, aren't you?
I am taking Brent Seabrook.
Are you actually? You actually?
I am taking Brent Seabrook.
I said that as a joke. Jeez Louise.
Dude, you need to look at his figures when he was between 2009 and 2015. Fucking hell.
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
an absolute animal.
Playing with Duncan Keith would do that for you, wouldn't it?
Dude, he was still so good on that.
You could say
so
Mark
good.
Mathon next.
No.
He's a good player. There are two.
I'm just thinking.
There are two
again,
other D I'd have taken ahead of him.
Really?
Yeah, there really are.
I don't want to say this again though. I'm looking at Seabrook in those like 5 or 6 years at his peak, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a Duncan Keith thing.
He was good.
But
I think he was really good. But
now you're not putting me Duncan Keith. Now you're putting me Brent Burns. Maybe he'll still be as good. Not such a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right. I think.
Holy shit!
This is
fascinating already.
This is a really interesting one already.
I love these so much.
I'm gonna fucking carry it on. I'm gonna say Big Buff. I want him.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Yeah, why wouldn't you have taken him?
That was my next pick. If you'd gone forward, my next pick was Bufflin.
Fair enough. I would have taken him over Brent Seabrook without a doubt.
You know what's interesting actually, as some of these players have had. I mean, I'm thinking. I kind of had a quick look at Corsi and I did a few points per game things, but over the course of their careers, some of them have been wildly up and wildly down. Shea Weber's Corsi has a 10% difference at its highest and lowest peaks.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Whereas Bufflin's has always been around 53, which is, you look at his, like, it's kind of like 51, 52, 55, 54. He's been his entire career, he's been very steady. Yeah, whereas Weber's just, all over the place.
But he's been on like a variety of varying quality teams, isn't he?
That is true.
There you go.
Oh, shit. Well, now you've put me in a little pickle, aren't you? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'd like to think I have.
Do I do that?
I'm so excited already. Oh, today's background viewing is, I think it's Game 4 of the Western Conference Final from 2008. It's Detroit, Nashville. You got Lidstrom, you got Datsuk, you got Zetterberg, you got Shea Weber, Ryan Suter, Alex Radulov in a Nashville Predators jersey. Don't see that very often.
God, that's weird, isn't it?
That's fucking weird. Who? Dominic Hasek is playing for the Red Wings. Fucking
yes,
legends. Go on, who are you taking?
I've got to take D because there's enough depth on forward lines.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to take this guy because he's the best option left. I'll take Dion Phaneuf.
Yep, cool. I was hoping you wouldn't, and then you'd just be left with utter tat for the rest of it. Yeah,
there's a couple that are okay, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, perfectly fine players, but no one that you'd want. No one that you'd want. He's exactly who I was thinking of when I was saying about players who did not get the respect. Recent memory has not been kind to them. Like, Dion Phaneuf was fucking incredible at the height of his powers.
Yeah, he was. Fantastic.
Okay, so we've done that. Yeah, I think I'm going to solidify my top 4 because I'm not too worried about other positions. I'm going to take Braden Coburn to round out my top 4 because he was also very good. He was a very good player.
Yeah, he was, you fucker. Right. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I just don't really like what's left. This is your bottom 3D though, so it doesn't matter too much. True.
There's a sneaky little not too bad there. What's there? Well, that means I've got to do the same. Because that's what's happening right now.
Let's get out of the way. Is it Bruno Gervais that you're going to take?
What, Ricky's uncle?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this will surprise you. I don't know. But looking into his numbers, decent. Bear in mind the word saying decent, not good. Decent offensive production for a D-man. I'm taking Toby Enstrom.
Yeah. That's I think who I'd have taken out of who's left. He was good, and if only you'd taken Big Buff, they were a decent enough pair together. A shame.
Toby Enstrom, out of all the D-men, 6th highest points per game production.
I'd never think of him as... No. But he was always good. I always felt like...
Nearly half a point a game.
Feels like he called it a day earlier than he could have, sort of thing. But I think he just... Age caught up with him, you know how it is.
Yeah, 719 games he played.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all, is it?
Okay, then. All right.
I suppose I better take...
It's like fucking 1 centre each and 4D.
There we go. Glad we got that sorted out.
I love it.
Let's remedy that. I'm going to take Eric Stoll. I'm going to take him.
Are you fucking fuck?
Yeah, good. Cool. That's
fucking hell.
Glad I made the right choice.
Oh.
He was all right, wasn't he?
Again, he's
still all right.
I really didn't think you would notice this. 2nd highest points per game of any player taken in the draft.
Yeah, he was really, really fucking good.
Yeah, he was fucking amazing.
And arguably is still really fucking good.
Yeah. God damn it. That's really annoying.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
I know. I thought I'd sneak that one.
You wish.
We need to get more obscure with these drafts, so you just forget people. I need to go back to like 1973 or something.
I guess I'll take Dave Murphy, who is a right winger. Yeah, all right.
And then I'll go, I can't believe you missed Fred Johnson, you fucking idiot.
Oh my God. He scored 100 goals in 21 games in 1974. How have I not heard about this?
That was it. That was during the no goalie era. How can I not remember that rule?
Mate, I've just seen the fucking Dominator get chased. That's mental.
Oh no, shit! I was going to say something then, and now I can't. Hang on. Remind me of that in a bit.
All right. Okay. Oh, it's only 3-1 and you're pulling Dominic Hasek for Chris Osgood. That's fucking mental. There's one player that I'm really interested to see where he goes. Oh, just two actually. Three. Fuck
mate, God, I'm saying that remind me of 10 things now. I've got the absolute hipsterish of hipster picks later on, if it's still there.
I've got one that I think is a little bit out there, but
there's two. I got two that one is well maybe you can see it, and one is just full on man bun, like all the way.
100% fucking man bun.
100% man bun.
Who's taking?
I need a forward. What do forwards do? They produce points. I'm taking the player with the 4th best points per game. That's one of my stats I looked at. Okay. Can you tell? I'm taking Zach Parise.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I never saw it, but he was fucking phenomenal.
God damn it. Eric Stolpik's killing me.
Yeah, right. Sorry about that. I kind of don't want to, but I also feel like I have to. I'm going to take... Oh, I don't know. I was going to say something, but I don't know if it's true. Yeah, cool. The only MVP selected in this generational draft. I'm taking Corey Perry.
Good choice, mate.
Because he was really, really good for a little bit. He was real good.
It's amazing looking at these players' careers, that how good they were during their peaks. They were unbelievable. Some of them were just like that. Those figures can't be true. Those stats cannot be true.
Yeah.
And even again, which as I said, remind me of the Hasek thing. Something I'll talk about in a minute. Just absolutely floored me, and I would never have guessed in a billion years. But I'll come back to that in a minute.
I'm excited.
All right, you've taken Corey Perry because you're a Stars homer. That's fine. So, okay.
Have you just duplicated a player in your list?
Yeah. I'm taking Patrice Bergeron. This is a player, I've just said, this is somebody people will absolutely not believe at his peak was this good. I'm taking Dustin Brown.
Okay.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Of every player, only 2 players on the entire list have had seasons with a Corsi over 60%, and he's one of them.
Well, it's easy when you're playing on the line with Duncan Keith, isn't it?
Keith. And the only other player to do it is Patrice Bergeron, who's done it 3 times, because of course, but whatever.
He was a good player. He's been bad for so long, though. It's the problem.
I know, I
Brown.
agree. I agree.
It's not like it's been a couple of years and he's not been good since 2014, and even then he was not particularly incredible.
Yeah, I think it was 14-15 season when he just started to go downhill, but before that, fantastic, so good. Very,
very good player. Okay, he's a good reaction to Perry as well. I like it.
All right, who have you got?
Speaking of Kings teams, I'm going to take Jeff Carter because I fucking love him.
Ooh, okay, that surprises me.
Yeah, I think I can understand it, but I think he's very, very, very good. Well, and I think he
never had a season with a point per game ever.
Yeah, but who needs to score goals when you're really cool?
It's true. And handsome.
What can I say? He is very handsome, to be fair.
He is a handsome boy. You see, he's underrated. Jeff Carter's underrated good looking. I think he's underrated good looking guy.
He never gets a lot of shout out. Maybe because he's missing all his teeth.
Teeth? Who needs teeth?
Especially when you're playing in the NHL. Trade him in for goals, mate.
Exactly.
I wonder if you're
That
going.
makes my choice. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, I wonder if you're going to take the other side of the coin.
It kind of made you actually give me an easier choice there. Then I'll take Joe Pavelski.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought you would have taken him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why. Just didn't. I'm blinded by my love for Jeff Carter.
Yeah, blinded by his handsomeness.
I don't know why. Do you ever get those players that, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, just like, right, I really like him.
I was thinking that could be a draft that we'd do, but that would be pointless because there'd be no actual, like, tangible kind of. It's just guys we like, and that's crap.
Like the bad player draft.
Yeah, the bad player you secretly like draft.
Let's just keep the party going. I'm going to say Mike Richards.
Are you really?
I am, yeah, because Mike Richards was really, really, really good. He was really very good. If you're taking fucking Dustin Brown, I'm taking Mike Richards.
Yeah, no, you're surprising me. You're surprising me, mate. I'll be honest. With some of these picks.
I mean,
not in a bad way, just surprising.
It's fair enough. A little bit. It's going to get even more surprising later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just you wait.
Just you wait.
This is one of my first hipster picks.
Go on.
A surprising point producer. If you look at the figures,
okay,
I'm taking Thomas Vanek.
Oh yeah. See, Vanek's almost like, I wouldn't necessarily call it hipster, but it's like a risky one. It's one of, like, I don't know. You have to go against your better judgment, even though your better judgment is probably wrong.
Dude, his Corsi is horrendous. He was so bad.
He was an extremely good player,
but not a good teammate.
Christ, not at all.
Same career points per game as Joe Pavelski, and only 0.01 less than Zach Parise.
This is the thing. This is where I wasn't that fussed about Pavelski. I think at the height of their powers, I think Carter and Richards were better players. That's just my thinking.
Do you know what? Yeah, I don't hate that thinking.
Thanks.
I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't hate it.
I'm not a fan. I'm not going to subscribe to it. But it doesn't enrage me. I think I'm going to have to be a little bit of a homer again and say Louis Eriksson. I think I am. I'm going to say Louis Eriksson. Because he was a good player. He was a very good player.
Okay.
There are a couple of elephants in the room that nobody has addressed. I think we're just gonna let them lie dormant.
I hate it when you say that. I hate it when you say that. I see what you're saying. There's a couple of players that are just still not being taken.
Let's just not take any goalies yet. Let's just wait.
Well, it seems as though you've read my mind, young William.
You go for it. You're taking him.
You getting ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Right. So you're either going to take.
Are you ready? Here we go. Do me a favour, right? Put your eye-rolling eyes in right now, and get your giggly laugh track ready. You've done to me every fucking week.
Such a piece of shit. Go on, just take him.
I'm taking Corey Crawford.
Oh, I thought you were going to say take Yara Halak.
No. I'm taking Corey Crawford because Hang on.
Yeah, I kind of get it, like, because Fleury fucking.
As we said, we're talking here. You've got to look at peak powers because you can't judge players. As we said, I mean, Jeff Carter, Dustin Brown. There's loads of players. Thomas Vanek, all these players that have fallen off. No doubt about it. Corey Crawford, fallen off, but that 13 cup run, he was really good, really good. But
then, so I'll get it out of the way. I'm going to take Fleury next. Is there not an argument that Fleury, who dragged the Golden Knights to a Stanley Cup final, has got a higher peak than Crawford does?
It could be. But think about this. Who else is on my defense? Brent Seabrook. See? Chemistry, Will. Chemistry. Think about it. See? I'm thinking Ultimate Team as well here. Yeah. Got to have some chemistry in there.
You've got to get those green bars going, haven't you?
Got to get the green bars going, mate. That's what you got to do.
See, part of me wonders if we're going pure peak of their powers. Do you take Yara Halak over Corey Crawford? I think that'd be a brave pick and not necessarily a wrong one.
I agree. Do you know what it is with Halak? It's sample size. What was that season Halak had? He's only have had one season where he's played more than 5 games. I think 6 games in the playoffs, and that was that one season where he was godlike.
So you just going to say 5 games, full stop.
No, in his playoff career, he's played 30 games, whereas Corey Crawford's played close to 90.
Yeah,
and I would still take Corey Crawford. Like we said last week about something, if you want to argue with me that Halak's a better choice than Crawford if looking at a peak, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Halak's then the best goalie in this draft if you're looking at a one-season peak, especially postseason. Holy shit.
Jeez Louise. And it's that hard thing with goalies, especially of like, if Halak's that Blackhawks goalie, or are you talking about Halak in a very different situation?
Yeah, maybe.
But Crawford's very good, so I don't hate the Crawford pick. I think he's the most consistent goalie.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And this is what I was going to say about when you said about Hasek. If you'd said to me, out of all the goalies since 1999, so I'm looking at the last 20 years, because this was more a curiosity thing about goalie save percentage and goals against. If you'd have said to me which goalie since 1999 has the best goals against average of all the Stanley Cup winning goalies, I would not have chosen Jonathan Quick. I would have picked Trapped Devils.
Yeah,
over that.
Yeah. Well, even if you look after...
Brodeurs was 1 point... Go on.
I was going to say, well, even after 99, like 2003, they were still a very good team. What's Brodeurs, like 1.68 or something?
Brodeurs in 2000 was 1.61, and in 2003 was 1.65.
That's crazy. That's still crazy, though, isn't it?
Crawford's had only one goalie in the last... since 2009 has a better goals against than Crawford, and that was Jonathan Quick in 2012, sorry. Yeah. And Crawford's in 13 was 1.84. What was Jonathan Quick's goals against average in 2012?
Oh, fucking...
in the playoffs.
1.59 or something like that.
Dude, 1.41.
That's fucking mad.
Do you know what his save percentage was as well?
940 or something like that.
946.
There's a reason that people think he's a good goalie.
There's a reason people think he's a good goalie. The best goals against average and the best save percentage of any goalie in the last 20 years is John Quick. And it's kind of not close, really. It's kind of not close. Looking at just looking at those two numbers. And what do we say? We're not talking about a Kings defense in 2012 that's lauded as the best ever defense. It was good, but we're not talking about, like we're saying, we're not saying there's maybe the greatest D-men ever playing on that team. It's opposed to 1.41 and 946 is fucking insane.
It's interesting though that he's, for a position that is so often regarded as voodoo, that John Quick holds those insane numbers and is arguably remembered as the most fluky goalie. Not fluky, but like he's unorthodox, he's whatever it might be. Like, he doesn't strictly get respect as a skilled or talented goalie, does he?
No, absolutely not. But dude, 1.41, 946. That's
unreal.
Bonkers.
Bonkers is definitely the word for it. Who are you going to take?
Anyway, I got to go forward.
Because we're getting a bit into the weeds here, aren't we? A bit into the dregs.
All right. Okay, here's one for you. Here's one of my hipster picks. You ready?
Oh, okay, go on.
Didn't play many games. In fact, I think, God, where is he down on this list?
Oh, yes.
He's about 25th, 26th overall on games played, something like that. Oh. I'll take Nathan Horton.
Yeah, good choice. Very good choice. If he didn't mash his back up, crikey.
Dude, yeah, crying shame.
He was a really
Absolute
good player.
Shame.
Really, really good player. I think I'm not going to mess around though. And speaking of people with back issues, I'm going to take Ryan Kessler.
Oh, you sneaky boy! That was my next one.
That for me was the last forward left that was a relatively sure thing to take. You know what I mean? The interesting thing about this draft is like the first round actually produced a lot of very good players.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
which is just interesting because often you get it's more spread out sort of thing with the hits. And you get a lot of first round busts, but this one's been pretty deep as far as first round legends that were taken.
I mean, it is ridiculously deep, isn't it?
It's fucking mental.
Considering.
Yeah.
Considering what we've seen in some of the draft we've done back in 2012.
Jesus Christ.
Which is just absolute draw.
Speaking of dross, now I think we're there's one forward left that I'd say stands out above the rest, and I still wouldn't particularly want to take him.
I'm taking my boy. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Go on,
I'm taking Big Dave Backus.
Big Dave. What a Big Dave. What a Big Dave.
Go on, Big Dave. You know what? A fucking hell of a guy and a consummate professional.
Fucking absolute legend.
It's not his fault they fucking gave him a terrible contract.
You like hipster picks, don't you, Dan?
Oh, don't do this to me. Don't pick this guy. I'm going to be so upset if you pick who I think you're going to take.
I hope it is who you... I'm going to invoke the Nail Yakupov rule. I'm going to take Andrei Kostitsyn.
Oh, okay, that's not who I thought. Okay.
Oh, okay, there's one other person that maybe two other people. I might take the other person that I'm thinking of because I really want to take him. But I think Andrei Kostitsyn is like a classic example of he was perfectly decent and, would have done better if he wasn't Russian.
Which means I've got to take this player because I can't believe I'm saying this, but statistically, this is the best player left on the board at this point for me.
Go on.
Only played 421 games, but I'm taking Nikolai Zerdev.
Mate, that's crazy. That's mental. I like it, though.
Dude.
I'm glad we're getting into this level.
Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I haven't even 6, looked at. 7, I know he was 9, kind 10. Of good, but he wasn't. Yeah, I can't.
There isn't a sample size there, but statistically for forwards, points alone, he was the 12th best player in this draft.
Mate, he played.
And at this point, that's what I'm just going to go on because it's like my third line guy. So fuck it, why not?
He played 6 seasons in the NHL and 3 of them were over 50 points, and yet he's remembered as like one of the biggest busts of all time.
I know.
It's a weird one. I probably should have taken him over Kostitsyn, but too late for that, really.
Don't get me wrong. If you'd have taken Zerdev in the 4th or 3rd round, you're like, great, fucking what a steal this is. But because he went where he went, it's not great.
Yeah, not the 4th overall, but then.
No.
Someone's got to have been taken over 4th overall. Yet another week where I'm having to add in names for your list.
I mean, this says to me that I'm doing my homework and you're not. So
I think absolutely. I'm just sorting it alphabetically and taking players. Yeah. Cool. You want a bit of homework there, do you, boy? I'm going to take Milan Michalek with my next pick.
Ooh, that was going to be one of mine. Okay, that was going to be one of my sneaky ones.
Another naughty little. Go on, chuck him in, see what happens. He was good. He did good. He did pretty good. 446 points in 747 games. What more do you want?
Exactly. What was he taken in the draft again?
6th overall.
God, but you see, for 6th overall,
it's not bad though, is it?
It's not bad. Again, yeah, it's not bad. To be fair, it's not bad. It's
not. He had more points than Nathan Horton, I think.
Yes, he did.
And he played more games.
There you go, Nathan Horton, bust. Heard it here first.
Absolute bust. If only he tried harder.
Absolute bust.
Right now we're really getting into interesting territory.
Do you know what? I'm going to go D because why not?
Yep, I felt that coming. I thought we needed to. We've got to round it out. I think. I think I know. There's 2 players that you're going to pick between.
Every time I pick a player, I don't know why, I get this weird kind of nervousness that you're just going to chuckle and then say, well, I better write his name in then. Like you just did. Every time.
To be fair, I should have had Zerdev on my list. I probably should have. Instead of Drew Miller, who I don't think is getting taken at this point.
That's just your anti-Russian bias showing its head again.
That's absolutely. If there's one thing I hate, it's skilled Russians.
It's true, and that's why soon you'll be working for the Canadians.
Hey.
Right, D. Fucking hell.
Go on, take him.
I'm gonna take Matt Carl.
Yeah, cool. I like it. I thought it was going to be him or Mathot.
Are you taking Mathot?
I'm not taking Mathot. I'm going to take Kevin Klein because I don't know why, but I like him.
So he goes into that team as well.
Yeah. He wasn't bad, though, for a third pairing D-man.
No, fine, that's fine.
He was good with the Rangers at the end. So I think we've both got 1 D left to take, and there's a handful of forwards left to take. Right, I've got to do a 4th line. I don't know about you. I assume the same.
I've stopped trying to predict what you're going to do. Like before the show, I'm just now trying to get as much information on my screen as I can and then react to your picks when you pick them.
Yeah, I've started doing a bit of like linked players, if that makes sense. So like, okay, if you take this player, then I should take that player in a reaction because I want to make sure that I've got that covered. Like Getzlaff and Bergeron were linked, Weber and Burns were linked, sort of thing.
Yeah, was it Pavelski and Carter as well, that kind of thing?
Nah, not so much because like, I think apart from Bergeron and Getzlaff, the rest of those centres, or there's a slight Stahl, Carter, Pavelski, and Richards are all close enough.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, if you get a couple out of those, you're all right.
I'm going to round up my decor, get it finished off.
Go on, hit me.
Yeah, I'll take Mark Mathot. Why not?
He was a good, perfectly good D-man, maybe. No, nobody really knows.
As you can tell by my why not pick, one of the best.
I'm starting to worry that I've missed a D-man, because the only D-man I've got left on my list is Bruno Gervais, and...
There's probably a couple you could have... Well, are you taking him?
Nah, I'm not. I'm going to take Jan Hayter instead. That was a much better pick.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's why, because I'd done it position-wise, so there weren't any right D left. I remember exactly what had happened. I shouldn't have been looking at centres. I should have been looking at D-men. Lucked into one there. Jeez Louise. Jan Hayter. Fucking lucky that.
Okay. Let's go with Matt Molson.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Matt Molson, really. He was pretty good for a bit.
Okay. Three forwards and a goalie left each.
Exciting times. Let's get... I'd say Lee Stempniak, because all jokes aside, like he was a decent, versatile forward for a long time. Played a lot of games, considering his... I don't want to say lack of skill set, but you know what I mean.
I mean, yeah, he's NHL's Robbie Savage. Let's just say, let's just say it as it is.
let's be frank about it. Let's make no bones about this. I don't know enough about Lee Stempniak as a person to comment on whether he was anything like Robbie Savage.
Well, he's an NHLer, Will, so he must be good in the room. I'm sure he's a great guy. Works hard for the team, gets pucks in deep.
I'm sure he's fucking lovely. How's he almost done 1,000 games? There's so many players like fucking Andrew Cogliano played 1,000 games this year. He's a good player, but 1,000 games? 1,000.
If he can do it, anyone can do it. All right. After feeling like an idiot last week, even though it didn't matter in the end because people don't seem to care that I had spent a night as a backup goalie on my team. Nobody seemed to give two shits. Nobody went and went, hang on a minute, look at the backup goalie situation in Team A. That's terrible. It's a guy who's never even played a game.
Why didn't you take Martin Brodeur?
Yeah. Why do you take Chris Osgood from 2008? I'm taking Yarrow Halak as my backup goalie.
Yep, fair enough. I'll leave him there then, as you don't need him. I'm going fucking Maverick again, mate. Don't even worry about it. I'm taking Nigel Dawes.
You mother...
The Kazakh legend himself.
That was my guy.
Was that your man bun pick?
That was my man bun pick. Oh my god, I am devastated. I'm more devastated about that than the Bergeron pick.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Oh, God, such a good choice.
Nigel Dawes is a fucking legend.
Hell. Yeah, 462 points in 496 KHL games.
It's crazy. And he's like the quintessential, fuck this, I'm going to go be a legend somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's probably made loads of money.
Dude, the amount of picks you've taken, that was legitimately like my neck. He was my next pick. I was thinking, there's no way. I'll take Halak now. There's no way he's going to take Nigel Dawes with this pick. Fucking hell.
Because why not? Who am I going to say? Fucking Eric Fair? Like, I'd rather roll the dice on Mr. Dawes.
All right. I'm going to pander to the crowd now because I think people are going to pick a team with more names on it than not. So forget points per game now. I'm just going purely based off appearances of what's left.
Purely 900 name brand power.
Yeah, name brand. 917 games played. I'm taking Kyle Broziak.
Oh mate, well that's a minging pick.
What did I just say? I don't like it. I'm doing it to please the crowd. I'm going to be a dirty slut about it.
That's fucking disgusting.
It is gross.
I don't like it.
It's completely gross, I agree.
There's nothing I like about that.
But dude, he played 917 games.
What did we just say? Like any man can play fucking 1,000 games in the NHL.
Exactly.
You don't need to be anything special. Fucking Carl Brodziak. I'm going to take Patrick Eaves because he's a fucking legend.
Oh my god, I fucking missed that guy. I'm so glad you haven't taken that guy, because that's your team done. Holy shit.
Is it? Am I really done? I've got one left, haven't I?
You got your goalie.
Oh shit, yeah, I suppose so. Go on then, who did I miss then?
Thank God. You missed the ultimate good in the room guy. You missed Brian Boyle.
Yes. See, again, this is where I've been stuffed over because I didn't put him down because he wasn't one of the 8 best centres. Probably should.
There you go, you see. Oh, it's all come full circle. You did miss somebody off at the start.
Oh, mate,
Brian Boyle.
Should have taken Boyle over Brodsey out, personally.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. I was just looking at games played and went, oh, Brodsey at 917, that'll do. And then went down, oh shit, there's him. I didn't see him.
I fucking love Brian Boyle as well.
Me too.
You bastard. Well, Jimmy Howard's going to be my backup goalie. That's not a bad place to be, is it?
Nah, it's not terrible. I was curious if you're going to go for a little Brian Elliott there at the end.
Oh, no, fucking absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'd rather die.
Name recognition. I will take...
It's Drew Miller, isn't it? Or is it Eric Fair?
I'll take Brad Richardson.
Yeah. Is he still playing for the Coyotes?
It's the Coyotes. I'm sure he's still getting paid by them, if nothing else.
I think he is still playing.
There we go. Not bad.
I think it's turned out alright, isn't it?
I got to tell you, I'm kind of dreading hockey coming back because I have so much fun doing these. I cannot tell you how much I get excited to do these and to look at players and drafts and try and find steals and things. It's so exciting.
2 Brits, 1 draft. Fun. Let's do it.
That's it. We're a draft podcast from now on. As we said last week, that's it. There's no more.
You'll be glad to know that I've got 2 more ideas for drafts that I will share with you when we're not recording, as to not spoil the future for our avid listeners.
Yes, I've got an idea as well. I've got a silly idea, which I think will be good, rather than just let's look at this draft.
Fucking excellent.
There we go. If you are listening to the show, please do vote when we put the teams up because it helps us belittle each other online and on WhatsApp and things.
If there's
and
one
shout
thing
abuse at each other.
It's the kind of thing we want to do. It's brownie points over each other, isn't it?
And I genuinely am intrigued that the choices people make. I couldn't believe last week it was pretty much... I've not gone back and looked at it, but I saw enough A's and B's together to think, yeah, it's close enough to call it a draw. I was so surprised. I really thought you'd win by quite a way.
I think to an extent, unless it's like a landslide, it's basically a draw anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even if it was like 10-8 or 13-10 or something, it's that's enough. It is hockey. You're going to get, as we said, you're going to get plenty of, well, it's clearly A. No, it's clearly B. There we go. A couple of little things I did notice. There was a couple of other players. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed the noticeables in this draft as well. Dan Carcillo was taken at 73 overall.
Yeah. On that subject, Paul Bissonnette was taken.
Yeah. Patrick O'Sullivan was taken in this draft.
Was he really?
Yes.
I was thinking Patrick O'Sullivan was being like 60 years old. You got a lot of players like Kyle Quincy, like Clark MacArthur, Tanner Glass. BJ Crombie.
As we mentioned, Eric Fair. Yeah. Maxime Lapierre.
Oh, yeah, Max Lapierre.
Nate Thompson. Nate Thompson was fucking hell.
This is a crazy thing. Like, there's a lot of like people that you've heard of for basically no reason. Like Jeff Tambellini was taken. Like, I couldn't tell you why I've heard of Jeff Tambellini, but I fucking have.
You know what it is? It's like hockey players they just seem to hang around, don't they?
Yeah, that's absolutely it. That is absolutely it.
Did you see he was taken at number 58?
Nah, not off the top of my head.
That'll be the current Chicago Blackhawks head coach, Jeremy Colleton.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yes, he fucking was. That's crazy.
Like I said to you, I found out this was the most interesting draft we've done in terms of finding out people, like you say. I mean, plenty of people taken who hadn't had NHL careers but are. Or had NHL careers, but are then become kind of more famous for other things, such as coaching or crime. I mean, all Patrick O'Sullivan's personal life and what Carcello's done now with the concussion thing and
being in the media and stuff like.
Yeah, it's mad. Like how many people have taken other things as well from this draft and done other stuff with it, not just had an NHL career.
And it's that interesting thing where like it's a long enough. Yeah, it's far enough in the past. You've still got people who are playing to a very high level in like, your Shea Webbers, your Flurries, whatever it is. And you've got people who feel like they haven't played the game for a million years, and you've got people who are X, Y, and Z. Like, really, the fact that you've got current head coaches, arguably the biggest hockey media personality on the planet right now in Bissonnette, the range of things that people are currently doing today, and they're all drafted in the same year, is mental.
some players have had absolute amazing careers and are now classed as just being really terrible players. Others are still classed as being unbelievable. You have quite a few. Not quite a few, but there's a couple at least Hall of Famers in here. To all come out of one draft, and to have so much range in it is just mad.
Yeah, it's the off-ice impact as well that's amazing for me. Because you can pick any draft really, and you get plenty of players. But this is like a whole scope. This whole draft is like a mythos of itself. Right, let me have a look. Right, that's definitely one. It's hard to say whether I think there'll be at least two in Bergeron and Fleury. Definitely going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Brent Burns will, I think.
You think so?
I'm not saying I agree with this, but he will. Brent Seabrook will. Corey Crawford will.
I don't know.
They do. They will. They do. Cups. It's crazy. Cups. Jeff Carter's going to get in.
Fucking Andrew Desjardins going to get in. Into the Hall of Fame just because he played on the fucking.
What did we talk about when they did the fucking the decade team? And I said, there's no way they're putting in Erik Karlsson over Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty's won 2 cups. There's no way they're going to 100 hockey men are not going to pick Erik Karlsson over Drew Doughty because he's won 2 cups. And this is the same.
Is Mark Richards going to get in the Hall of Fame?
Maybe he will. But players who were big enough characters at the time, or considered to be the best at their position at the time, they'll get in. Of course they will. I'm not saying I agree with it, but they will.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right to an extent.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Honestly, so much fun doing these. And we'll do another one next week. Well, any last words?
No, I really need to pee, so I can't think straight.
A message we can all relate to. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later.
Peace.